In this video today, we are going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens move on to the next phase of the offseason. There are some people out here really tight-lipped mad right now running these streets.
Haters gonna hate!
And there is a team in the NFL that's out here blinding people. All this and more coming up.
Maybe it's not racism, maybe it's placism. Brother has to know his place, right, Bo?
Next. All right, we are getting closer and closer to the start of the NFL season. Last week, the Baltimore Ravens concluded their 3-day mandatory minicamp. Now, I know a lot of people do not take stock into minicamp where you have players running around in shorts and a t-shirt, but it does give them a chance, an opportunity to show off their athleticism and let people know that they've been in their playbook studying and they know the plays going into the season. Some people rate this really high as a step towards players becoming what they're supposed to be. Some people look at it as, it's just another day in the NFL. Some people look at it as guys not living up to expectations. It just depends upon your point of view. To me, this is not really important. It's just getting the team together. I feel it's all about the camaraderie and just having the players get reacclimated to NFL life. Now, during this 3-day minicamp, there was a lot to do with Lamar Jackson missing voluntary OTAs, but he came back and he came back with a vengeance, albeit in shorts and t-shirt. The first day was pretty rough. Being that Lamar had a long layoff, he was doing off-season type things. He came in and threw a bunch of interceptions, didn't look too well, but on the second day he exploded, spreading the ball all around the field, doing Lamar type things, and he was even doing his thing during day 3. Now, of course, the defense is going to be what the defense is. The Ravens lost a lot of key pieces from last season. They got a new defensive coordinator, a lot of new assistant coaches, but the Ravens defense still looks strong in shorts and t-shirt. But even I do think once the pads come on, the Baltimore Ravens are actually going to be able to do their thing defensively and still be one of the top teams in the NFL. And the defense was looking pretty strong, even without the services of Kyle Hamilton, who had surgery done, and Marlon Humphrey. He seemed to have aggravated something and did not participate, but he was off to the side working out. Hopefully this is not the recurring trend with Marlon Humphrey where he's going into a season injured. Hopefully he will be up to speed. Of course, John Harbaugh and the Ravens said he should be fine by the start of training camp and he should be ready once the season begins. But with John Harbaugh, you really never know what's going on. You really never know the truth about these injuries. This may have been one of the reasons that the Ravens took 2 cornerbacks in this draft, because they knew Marlon Humphrey was not as healthy as he appeared to be. But during this minicamp, the Ravens had a bunch of standout stars, some undrafted free agents, some lesser known guys coming in, making plays on a daily basis. So the Ravens should be covered in case Marlon Humphrey is out for an extended period of time. Now, when it comes to the offense, the wide receivers were having decent days. I do believe that Zay Flowers was going off and Rashad Bateman made an appearance during day 3. But the stars offensively of minicamp had to have been the Baltimore Ravens tight ends. In particular, Charlie Kolar. For some reason, he seemed to be getting the bulk of the passes. Mark Andrews was doing Mark Andrews type things, and Isaiah Likely was in there making a couple of spectacular catches as well. But it just seems like when it comes to the passing game, tight ends were heavily utilized. I don't know if this is what's going to happen going forward into the season. I don't know if the Ravens are going to become tight end dependent once they get into the regular season, and these are going to be the targets that Lamar relies on outside of Zay Flowers. Now, the one thing that was a bit of concern is the Baltimore Ravens offensive line. For some reason, Daniel Faalele, he seemed to struggle once again. He's a big boy. It gets hot and humid in Maryland. He just couldn't keep up with his workouts. His conditioning was not up to par. Hopefully he can get there by the start of minicamp. We just don't know. Also, there is talk that there is a possibility that Ben Cleveland may not be our starting guard. Big surprise. But once again, this is minicamp. This is the Ravens come together in shorts and t-shirts. They're not really going up against real competition, so you're not going to see what they have. And speaking of this porous offensive line, I still do remember at the beginning of this offseason, all I saw in my comments were, hey man, just wait for the June 1st cuts. The Ravens have a plan. I'm not saying that the offseason's over, but it is June the 16th, and I don't really see any notable players getting cut and the Ravens picking anybody up. This is why we told you, don't depend upon another team's garbage to come in here and be the Ravens savior, because you don't know what's going to happen. And even if someone were to get cut, you don't know that they're coming to Baltimore. You can't have this as a contingency plan on building your roster. Now we have Daniel Faalele struggling. We have Ben Cleveland. Don't know what's going on with that situation. But 2 guys that we thought were going to compete, albeit early, are having some struggles and some whispers in camp that they might not be those guys. But we still have time. We don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any injuries, especially to the left tackle position. Ronnie Stanley appears to be healthy. They say he's looking strong. They say he's looking close to his pre-2020 form. But if Ronnie goes down or he has some sort of nagging injuries, the Ravens don't really have a contingency plan at left tackle. And you can say Pat McCarry all you want. I'm tired of hearing Pat McCarry. This dude is basically stealing money. People said, oh, well, he can play all across this line. He can play multiple positions. Yeah, he can play multiple positions, but does he play multiple positions well? He has spurts where he's decent, but to have him come and start in a game consistently, he hasn't proven that he can do that. Anyone looks good when you put them in there for a few series and they have to hold up and then somebody comes in and sub and tags out for them. All people look well then. That's why so many people love the backup quarterback. So to me, Ravens, I don't know if you need to make a trade. I don't know what needs to be done. To me, I think that there needs to be a little more competition brought in here for that. So speaking about training camp, we have about 6 weeks or so until the start of training camp, which begins at the end or around the end of July. So the Ravens still have time to make some move, bring some guys in here for competition for this offensive line. Don't know if they're going to bring any competition in for the wide receiver position. I know a lot of you guys are tired of us talking about wide receivers. Well, damn it, if you go get some and bring some in that's worth something, we won't have to talk about them so much. How about that? So after minicamp concluded, Lamar Jackson spoke to the media and he said, yes, I'd like to get with my wide receivers, have them come down to Florida and, we can throw around, go over some plays, just get the timing together so that we're better prepared for when the season begins, because they were limited this offseason as far as organized team activities were concerned. I know people are going to say, but he missed a lot of time in OTAs. Yes, he did. But when you're working out on your own, there's no time limit. You work on what you need to work on. You pretty much set what you're going to do and you go forward from there, and you can do it for as long as you want. Now, the one issue that didn't sit right with me a little bit was the fact that there are certain wide receivers, tight ends that come down to Florida and train with Lamar Jackson during the offseason. I know there was some publication talking about, well, why do they have to come to Lamar Jackson? Why doesn't Lamar Jackson go to them? Well, a lot of those guys live, train, play, eat, sleep, shit, shower, and shave in Florida. So if you have a majority of people in Florida, why not everybody just meet there when the bulk of the people are there? There is one person in particular that just has not been there over the past few seasons, and that is Rashad Bateman. I know that there have been a lot of people this offseason questioning what is wrong with the chemistry between Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman. I know during day 3 of the minicamp, they seem to work well, but overall, for some reason, on the deep shots, they just don't have a connection. Some of it may have to do with them not working out together in the offseason. In every offseason that we've seen Lamar with everybody except for Rashad Bateman. Now, I know later on he came out and said, oh yeah, I'll be there. If he does something, I'll slide through and make an appearance. But my thing is, why have you not done this before? You see all of these other guys. You see guys that are new to the team. They'll go down there and try to build this rapport with Lamar Jackson, but yet and still you are off doing other things. Then you wonder why during the season you two aren't clicking or he's not looking your way. Don't know if it's pettiness. I don't know what it is, but they need to get this problem solved, and they need to get it solved immediately, because as of right now, Rashad Bateman is wide receiver 2. So hopefully they can get these two things settled now. So now I just want to address some of the haters.
Haters gonna hate!
This may not be a big deal to some. It's not really a big deal to me, but it does put a smile on my face when I see this. Madden 25 brought out their rankings when it comes to quarterbacks in the upcoming game. Guess who was at number 2? No, wasn't him either. It was Lamar Jackson, coming in with a 98 rating. And I know some of you can be like, Hendo, what does that really matter? It is starting to show the respect that Lamar Jackson is gaining in this league as a passer, not just as a runner, as a passer. For him to be ranked the 2nd ranked quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes, who was in the 99 club, it's a big deal. Lamar Jackson was just one off of making that club, getting that box sent to his house, but he has already made history with the Baltimore Ravens. I'm guaranteeing this is the highest ranking that a Baltimore Ravens quarterback has ever had. So to some of you that want to sit back and say, well, you know what? Lamar's not a passer, he's a runner. He can't do this, he can't do that. Apparently he can. He's a 2-time MVP. And he didn't run a whole lot last season, so be mad, fix your face. get your panties out of the bunch. Lamar Jackson is here and he is coming. And he is going to get better as he has each and every season. So say what you want now, because when the Ravens go through and win the Super Bowl, you guys can't say nothing. I don't hear nothing about, well, he needs to win too. No, he doesn't. You said he needed to win one. You said he needed to learn how to pass. You said he needed to become a better passer. He's done that. You said he couldn't win. He's done that. You said he couldn't make it to an AFC Championship game. He's done that. Check, 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 check. Stop moving the goalposts for this quarterback. And for you haters out there that love talking about Lamar's not a passer, wait until hell freezes over. Just wait. Once hell freezes over and the Ravens sit there and surround Lamar Jackson with talent, these skill positions, I mean real talent. Not guys we think can be talented, some real talent. Watch him explode as a passer like your favorite quarterbacks do, outside of Patrick Mahomes because he seems to win with anything. But once they surround him with this talent and he takes his game to an even higher level, what is going to be your narrative then? And speaking of the championship game loss, your man John Harbaugh went on a podcast and spoke about the championship game loss. To me, it just sounds like the same rigmarole that he pushes out each and every time he gets on the mic to speak about one of his failures. Don't know what it is, but he sounds clueless. He sounds lost to me. And I know you're like, you're just a John Harbaugh hater. No. Does this sound like a competent head coach to you that knew what was going on during the game, that was fully aware of the game plan that had been issued out the week prior? Does this sound like a man that's like, yeah, we executed all the plays that we needed to execute the way that I thought that we would have, and I stepped in and did what I needed to do as the head coach when things weren't going right? Does this sound like that person?
In the game, you're trying to process and try to find a way to win the game. So during the game itself, you're just trying to call the plays. We're trying to make the plays that we can. And really, honestly, if we make the plays, we win the game. So, did we run the ball enough? Heck no, no way. Especially against that defense at that time. And the plan was to go in there and run the ball a lot more than we did. We got behind. But that doesn't mean you stop running the ball, and I don't think the plan was to stop running the ball. It certainly wasn't. But we didn't have runs to get to in the system or game plan at that time that fit what they were doing.
But we didn't have runs to get to in the system.
So that's on us. We weren't prepared to run the ball against what they were showing us.
All right, exactly. That's what I thought. Close this video out, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL news. Trevor Lawrence signed a 5-year, $275 million extension. This includes $200 million in guarantees. Now, I remember a time when Lamar Jackson, or they said Lamar Jackson was looking for $200 million guaranteed, and they laughed at him. They said, you're not worth this. Please, anybody, tell me what Trevor Lawrence has done to deserve $200 million guaranteed with his one playoff win and not much else going on. Can't seem to stay healthy. Team doesn't really do much. AFC South has not really been that strong of a division, yet and still he struggles to win it. Had the lead early on in the season last season, and then at the end he folded. What has he done to earn $200 million? And these are the things that we talk about when we say Lamar Jackson is treated differently than a lot of these quarterbacks out here. Lamar Jackson has accomplished more, but when it comes his turn to get his money and his accolades, we put the and, if, buts, or asterisks beside his name. But get your money, kid, do your thing. Next guy, who knows, see how much money that they get. And we have two former Baltimore Ravens signing with teams this past week, where first we have Tony Jefferson, safety, come in and go to the Baltimore Ravens West. We already have Baltimore Ravens North with the New York Jets, who's trying to emulate everything that we do and take our players, personnel, and everybody else. Now it seems that the Los Angeles Chargers want to be the Baltimore Ravens of the West Coast. Tony Jefferson will be the eighth former Raven to join that team this offseason. As we know, Tony Jefferson was with the Ravens. He had the Achilles injury and didn't come back and play too well. Went out, decided to be a scout, and decided to make a comeback. So good for him. Hope you make the team. Also, we have Calais Campbell. He left the Atlanta Falcons and decided to sign with the Miami Dolphins. Now, to me, this was a little bit perplexing, but it's just because I expect for people to mean what they say and say what they mean. When Calais Campbell left the Baltimore Ravens, he said, I am in pursuit of winning a Super Bowl. And then in turn signed with the Desmond Ritter-led Atlanta Falcons. Don't know how you thought you were going to win a Super Bowl there, but hey, then he turns around and signs with the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins have kind of a Super Bowl caliber team, but they have a lot of injuries defensively, some departures. They may not be as strong of a team as they were last season. Also, they have the contract situation going on with Tua Tagovailoa and just his play outside of the state of Florida. So, Calais could have came back to the Ravens on a discounted deal, possibly won yourself a Super Bowl, because that's where the Ravens are headed, more so than the Miami Dolphins are. But once again, get your money, go where you feel comfortable. I understand. You're playing a warm weather city during your off time, you're in South Beach. Get it. Just don't say that you're going to win a Super Bowl with another organization. Just say you're going with best suits you at this point in your career. And last, the Kansas City Chiefs received their Super Bowl rings. Should have been ours. Should have been us. We should have been getting those rings. But the Kansas City Chiefs rings is diamond studded. Don't really like the design of this one too much. It reminds me of the old New England Patriots ring. And if you want to see a little more in depth into that, you can check out my video where I ranked the previous 57 Super Bowls prior to this season. So make sure you go look at the rings. It's beautiful. I just wish there could have been a Ravens head with that gold B sitting on top of some diamonds for this year's Super Bowl jewelry. All right. Appreciate you for rocking out with your boy. Another video down. Make sure that you do not forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this content with your family and your friends. Right now, it's Father's Day, and what better way to reward a father than spread his content, helping him grow on YouTube. I tried. Didn't work. Did it? Let me know. Anyway, let me know. Anyway, whatever. So until next time, in the next video, which this week I might have, because I got some things in the works. I got a couple videos worked out and planned. Don't know if I feel like recording them tonight, tomorrow, but I got some things. Make sure you check these videos out. Understand all the videos coming out are not essentially Baltimore Ravens videos, but they are videos with the channel. And if you rock with your boy, support them. I think they're good videos. It's NFL news, history, maybe some things you didn't know. Check them out. Let me know what you think about them. And until next time, boy, what else y'all want me to do? I try. I just make videos.
Haters gonna hate.